So, Conor McGregor has retired, apparently. Let me say that again. Conor McGregor has retired from the sport known as mixed martial art. Did I fall asleep, wake up, and it's 2016 all over again? Because I'm sure it's around the same time of year that he did this before. And that's why myself and so many other people are just very cynical about the announcement. So, for everyone that doesn't know, and how could you possibly not, McGregor went on Twitter, posted a tweet claiming he's retired from MMA and wants to wish his old colleagues well. Now is some reference to like proper pina coladas, which I'll probably give a try. And it's got a lot of people talking. Now, the funny thing is, there's some mainstream media people who are taking this very seriously. Like, oh my goodness, he's retiring, oh my god. Whereas people like myself and a lot of you guys on here have every reason to be cynical, because we know, we're used to what he's like. These are, to me, this feels like gamesmanship, this feels like contract negotiations. I almost want to compare this to Chris Evans, you know, the dude who plays Captain America and Marvel, where 1 minute Evans is saying he's retiring from acting, then he's saying he's staying along, then he's saying he wants to go into directing and maybe not act as much, then he's saying he's retiring from acting, then he's saying his contract's up, then he's saying he's willing to renegotiate, then it feels really, really similar to that. I also like the Warner Brothers Henry Cavill Superman situation. It's this thing where you've got guys playing games with each other to get what they want. And the reason why I feel cynical about this, and everyone probably in the MMA world is because 2 days ago we heard him talking about fighting Anthony Pettis, right, on Twitter. And they even talked about it to Anthony Pettis on ESPN after that incredible fight that he had against Wonderboy Thompson. McGregor was talking about wanting to fight him and like really, you know, complimenting him, put him over. Before that, he was talking about fighting Donald Cerrone, which unfortunately didn't happen, and he's going to be fighting Ali Quinta. And that's where, and I think the Cerrone negotiations are where and why we are now having what we're having publicly, because if it's true and what's reported out there, McGregor and Cerrone was going to be the co-main event of a UFC card, and McGregor was not happy about that, and he feels like, well listen, I'm the biggest draw in the sport, I am the top man, I deserve top billing, this is a big fight, we have chemistry as opponents based on their history in the press conferences and all of that, we deserve top billing, and if you're going to make me a co-main event, guess what? I want shares in the company, then I'll do that. And we know that the UFC are probably not willing to do that with McGregor right now. They're willing to do a lot of things for McGregor, but I don't see them as willing to do that, because if McGregor gets that, another person will want that, and another person will want that, and another person will want that. And I can just see the UFC saying, yeah, maybe not you. But yeah, this is why I think this is happening. So he didn't get the matchup that he wanted. And even on the weekend he was talking about fighting. He was talking about fighting in July. I heard there was even like a little thing going on with his camp. He wants to fight in July. He's been talking about the fight with Khabib. And you know, in a way that suggests that he's going to be fighting soon. So it's hard for me to believe that this is as legit as he wants you to think this is. We've seen McGregor do this in the fight game. We've seen him do this in the negotiation game. When they wanted him to do press and he wanted to train really, really hard for that rematch and didn't want to come out of that, he said, yeah, thanks for the cheese, I'll see you later. And that was a game that he played. And then the UFC and Conor came to an agreement. We've seen him do this with fighters, where he gets you to react on his terms to get what he wants. Remember when he fought Dustin Poirier? Poirier has never, ever, ever behaved in the way that he has throughout his career until he fought McGregor. And McGregor got under his skin. McGregor told him he was going to knock him out in the first round. He was as disrespectful as ever. And Poirier was emotional and reacting and leaving the rooms when he was in there and getting all wound up and pushing him and, you know, really pen up, and I'll show you that I won't go out in the first round. And guess what? Everything was even more telegraphed, and McGregor knocked him out in the first round. This is the kind of games that McGregor plays, whether it's in fighting or in contract negotiations. And we know that he does that. And from what's reported out there, apparently it's been said that, you know, of the two top stars out of Ronda and Conor, they find Ronda far more easier to deal with in terms of media, press and negotiations, whereas they've always found Conor very, very difficult. And we know that there have always been these games played between McGregor and the UFC. Look at all the press conferences. He's showing up late for a reason. We know that. He is telling them, I'm the boss, not you. That's why he's showing up late. He's not going to bend over and take it. I can't even finish that bit off. But we know why he's doing this, and that's why I feel so cynical, because I believe this is just like the Chris Evans situation, just like the Henry Cavill situation. We are seeing public negotiations right before our very eyes, and then one guy's going to crack, and then the other one's going to pounce on that, and then there's going to be an agreement, and something may happen. And that's just my impression of it. It's what everyone's impression of it is. Despite what you may think of him as a person, I'm not too keen on some of the things he's been doing, from a public relations standpoint, or some of the things that he's come out with. He is the top star. He is the top draw. He is the biggest draw that they have had, to be honest with you, and the numbers prove that. Bigger draw than Brock, bigger draw than Ronda, bigger draw than George St. Pierre. The UFC do need him because they need to. They want to. Listen, with this ESPN pay-per-view deal, are you telling me that they don't want a McGregor fight? Of course they do. And what Dana has done is very Dana in the sense they go, "Oh, I'm happy for him. Yeah, I mean, he's got more money, okay, to retire on, and his whiskey is killing it, okay." And you know that Dana don't really mean that, but Dana's playing that game too, where it's like, okay, you want me to cry and beg for you to come back? Not going to happen publicly with me, son. We saw Dana do this to George St. Pierre. Remember when he tried to do the whole George don't want to be a fighter thing, so that George would be like, what did you say? So this will be very interesting to see what happens next. But hey, I'm as cynical as ever with these things. It'll be very fascinating to see what goes down. Here's a really funny question. Actually, no, because it's kind of like, I want to say, but I would believe that McGregor is more likely to fight by the end of the year than Chris Evans to stay as Captain America this year. You never know. I mean, me being really silly. But guys, let me know what you think of all of this. God, it's been a long time since I've talked about MMA. It feels like, anyways. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. Do you side with McGregor on this one? Do you side with the UFC on this one? And do you believe that he's going to retire this time? Hey, at this rate, he's going to be up there with Terry Funk for retirements.